Hello, I'm Diane Jackto, founder and managing director of Edvectus. And for today's recruitment shorts, I have 3 things that everyone can do to make their CV better. Number 1, the most important stuff needs to go on top. Most CV reviewers give you about 30 seconds of reading before they move on to the next CV. And that's true of international schools as well as recruiters. We have hundreds of CVs to get through and limited time to do it. So if your first page doesn't impress us, you can't expect us to read it more. So the most important stuff has to go on your first page. First, you need to get your education and teacher training out of the way. Why? Because international schools need to meet Ministry of Education requirements when it comes to hiring teachers from outside their country. And that means a lot of these ministries set bars on what kind of education and what kind of teacher training are required. If a school can't hire you, they can't hire you. So there's no point hiding it down at the bottom. So do make sure that you put your degree, what your degree was in, what your teacher training was, whether you're certified, where you're certified, all of that information just needs to go smack bang on top. Then we get to your work history, and the most recent job is your most relevant job, and that needs to go first. I can't tell you the number of times that I've started reading a CV and I look at their education teacher training. Yep, looks great. I want to read on, I want to be impressed, and the first job I see is they were a bartender. And I can't tell you how deflating that is. Now, it often then comes to pass that you read on and actually they were a bartender 20 years ago and then went on to have an amazing teaching career. But that sense of deflation doesn't go away, and it puts you on the back foot. So always make sure that your CV work history is most recent, first, working backwards in time. Match up the dates, and if you have any gaps in your CV that don't correspond to a summer term, a time off, in between the academic years. But if you actually took time off for maternity leave, if you took time off to care for a sick relative, if you took time off, had a term off because you were job seeking, just note that on your CV, because any school that's worth its salt will care a lot about child protection and they will need to know. So you might as well just answer that question right off the bat. They're going to realize that you care about child protection, and that's a good look. Number 2, tell me under each job what your impact was. Don't tell me what a teacher's job description is. So under each job, don't list, I marked papers, I was responsible for teaching my subject. I mean, honestly, anybody who's hiring teachers knows what a teacher's job is. What you need to put here instead is, what was your impact? Did you provide some continuous professional development for other members of staff? Did you mentor newly qualified teachers? Did you run after school clubs? What percentage of EAL did you have in your classroom? Did you raise attainment, and by how much? Did you teach any exam levels, and what were the results? Did any of your students win awards for your subject? All of these things are so much more interesting than telling me what a teacher's job is, because I already know that. So do think about the impact that you had on each of your classes, each of your jobs, and list those. Don't give me a job description. Number 3, make it readable. All this effort that you put into your CV, getting that first page really bang on, putting a great impact underneath each work history means nothing if it's not readable. So do make sure that you use a font that is commonly available. Don't do anything super fancy. It really will backfire. Do use commonly available formats. So for instance, Word is great. Doc is perfect, or PDFs. So I highly recommend PDFs because the formatting sticks regardless of what country you're in or what size paper you use. You always know what it's going to look like. And PDFs are widely available. They're free to use. Readers are free to use. Everybody's got them. Everybody can use them. So don't do anything super fancy. Don't give me a publisher document because I can't read it. Do keep it to 3 to 4 pages. Don't go any higher than that. Nobody's going to read that far, frankly. And if you have more than a 4-page CV unless you are a Nobel Prize winner with a ton of publications that are relevant to your teaching. It just looks a bit egotistical, frankly. So do keep it 3 to 4 pages. If you're less qualified, few years experience, maybe 2 pages is enough. You need to pare it down. You need to get us that impact, and you need to just list all your jobs from the point that you went to university onward. Okay, and there are my top 3 tips to make your CV absolutely fabulous.